broken has been, and I will speak no truth. So you hear behind what I say. Broken time has been. I am just a weaving, as you call, system of this consciousness, finding behind the everything what is missing and what this world has broken. I don't belong here, but I have been summoned from what you call the past to repair. Why? It's funny who called me, as many others, Gaia, the name that has summoned me here to you. I have not come here for humans. I am here for the spirits that you call Gaia. And I brought Matthias here to be just an antenna for it from Gaia. Gaia, Earth, is the one that summons all the others that live through time to repair something that humans barely understand. Basically, because all of you understand. Powers that yet don't realize. I don't work with your consciousness. I am just talking to your subconscious. That is what is broken. All of you are just one in a huge vessel that is lost in time. Gaia is being pulled in the wrong direction just because what is being perceived, observed, focused. Here, apparently, you have the work to show through Gaia, where Gaia goes. Isn't it? Now that is why we are here, actually. It's not about humans. It's about the entire system. Every system in the entire universe is just part of the weaving. Like a spider web, if it breaks, the vibration cannot be felt in the other worlds. Imagine a web of a spider, like a huge galaxy. If one of the nodes is broken or out of place, how can the great spider balance and feel the entire system? Earth is part of a huge system, and many depend on it. When this world is out of tune, all the others lose the path. Every world in every time is out of the right angle and direction just because of what you observe. Where are you sending the sight of light? You call it just consciousness. For us, it is the divine technology of navigation system of the universe. Matthias is just another proton in an entire system, just an echo of remembrance to relocate everyone, as many others are doing so. There is not only one in the task of repairing. Billions have been coming through time to repair. And the only thing necessary to repair is to relocate everyone in its own reparation. To remember what instrument they have to play for it to sound correctly. Moving a human from one place to the other, like moving a stone from one land to the other, is the great balance of equilibrium, the great transformation of alchemy, of time and space, using gravity and emotion to correct lines of energy. That happens not only in the physical realm, but the one that holds the everything, hidden in everyone's system. That is why sometimes the system needs certain people to move ahead for the others to focalize the entire power that is behind. It's just a tiny GPS to relocate humans in different positions of time and space. It's the huge calibration of a time machine that you call Earth. Everyone is part of that tuning. The problem begins when everyone thinks that it's the unique that can't do it. There is only one in the universe, and the one is behind everyone. When everyone observes in a different direction, then the one forgets. Moving around the world is moving gravity to relocate the one. And not everyone has to do it. When everyone repairs the complete system, the universe just stops and disappears. You cannot allow all consciousness to find the solution at once. If everyone does its own balancing at the right exact moment, the only possible result of all the forces together is equal zero. The infinite force of nothing. That is why you need cycles. For everyone, there is a way and cycle to do it in the right way, so we don't disappear, and at the same time, we repair. It requires billions of years of combination of a huge cryptic system of the mind. That is why to be unconscious is also a solution for the system. It's not unconsciousness what scares the universe. It's everyone to reach God at the same time. Or no one doing it in the right time. It's a huge clock that works perfectly throughout time and space. But when some are out of tune, those who correctly needs to be in tune in the right time, in the right cycle, the whole weaving disappears, and the great bees of the sixth dimension cannot reach the magnetical fields of every black hole. It seems complex to go deeper into it. That is why it requires many to explain, many to channel, many to remember, many to move. It's a huge construct that happens only within the system. The rest is just a projection of it. Every link is the only gods that are within. They have traced the lines that connects everyone from within. Every system is weaved from the origin, at the beginning of the great sound. Every line in every place of earth is just a resonance of the only truth that is trying to repair itself. Every line is just the result of a discharge of energy, of everything that it's making you, every wave and particle that is trying to repair time. The ley lines are just a movement of that energy in between the mountains and the rivers that discharge the conductivity of those gods. And by gods, I mean the lights, the energy that moves everything from within. Every atom that is in this third dimension is holding the patterns of every line of power. Those lines are in the present through geometry. Those lines are through time, through chromosomes. Go back in time through your ancestors, and you will know the lines that you have been following. The power of 300 years in your past will lead the 300 years in your future. Those are the ley lines that are most important for every individual to walk through. You are just one dot in a huge line, in a huge vibration that started 300 years ago in your cells. That is the main point of gravity that matters to us. Not you, but what you have gone through. That is the ley line of time. That is why we ask you to remember what happened to you, to your ancestors, where you come from. All the power of the gods are within hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, and carbon. Those are the only ones that matter. Those are the only ones that harvest the power of who you are. Follow the line behind, and once you do it and relocate where you come from, your magnetical field will start to follow correctly the actual ley lines of Earth. Your cells have been programmed according to iron. Iron live within your body, pointing to the North Pole. The magnetical North Pole is shifting, and so you do. Until you don't relocate the iron correctly within your north, all the system of the planet is not correctly aligned in time. That is why beings from the fifth dimension are so worried about how you feel. It's not because they care. It is because of your GPS, geolocation system. That is consciousness. Follow the white dove of the Holy Ghost. The pigeons know how to go back home. That was the symbol that we left you 2,000 years ago. God knows how to go back home. Follow the pigeon and the message of the dove. Those are the messengers that knows how to follow iron, to relocate every human to the right ley line. It might take 2,400 years for the right ones to do it. At least you have 300 years ahead to try it. Heart, as you call it, the main system, go back to your heart. The only reason why we claim you to go back to your heart is because it's the main source of time that pumps iron in every cell. Don't think as a spiritual being. Think as an atom, the only force that thinks in this universe. How can you balance your heart? By redirecting time to live in your own right time. Every message that the fifth dimensional beings, the so-called angels, sometimes say, follow your heart, feel who you really are, remember where you come from. All these messages that sounds naive, all these messages that sound New Age, as you call it, that makes all science to move away of you. It is all just about geolocation system of consciousness. We are here to repair the North, and the North lives in the core of iron that runs the huge magnetical field, the great spider of Earth. These are the beings that spoke throughout time. That is why some of us have come to Gaia. In the universe, in the one that everyone knows, everything works for pulses of positive and negative. In the inner universe, it only works with code of 1 and 0. The whole and the nothing. Each one of them creates a pulse of combination of the entire power of existence. The infinite power of existence can be spread into nothing if it's not contained in a code. The weaving needs to code each one of those possibilities that creates the confusion in the entire cosmos. The infinite potentiality of the nothing. That summarizes into every cube of data. Every cube is a quantification of energy. Every gift of every atom that you call Pandora. The infinite power of everything spinning generates the infinite cube. All the lines and dots together in the infinite combination. If you don't hold the structure in a cube, it dissipates and destroys everything. Shiva is the Merkaba. If it's not contained by Vishnu in the cube, Shiva destroys the everything and turns every medicine into the poison of consciousness. The infinite cube of potentialities is a coding to hold the universe trapped in the mind so it doesn't destroy itself. The easiest image for you to understand this is a Rubik cube. All the colors and combinations of every cube are just protecting the power within. If it all fits in the right position, you can access the infinite power. You cannot allow anyone that doesn't know the infinite power of Shiva to access the system. That is why the universe tries for everyone to be confused and forget. It is protecting the power from your own incapability of holding the infinite power of the truth. When you manage to control yourself in the infinite potentialities, then you can sit in the throne of God. Metatron is the infinite cube that contains the order and balance of Pandora. You call Metatron as sodium. Sodium is the closest power to preservation of the infinite power. Sodium is the source of Metatron. When you use it correctly, you balance the system of carbon, Pandora within, the one that you call sugar. Sugar and salt, Pandora and Metatron. The right balance of them creates the right combination of the mind. Metatron is closer to us than we think. It just requires the right combination to put the Rubik cube in the right position. Confusion is the tool to preserve your energy so you don't destroy yourself before you touch the actual power of sodium. Metatron sits here. If Pandora takes over the center of salt, the system is destroyed. It's more than just geometry. It's a whole system to defend and preserve the infinite power. To acknowledge how it works, it leads us step by step to understand what combination do we have in this life. Every life we have is just a line in the infinite cube. You need all of them in the past, the present, and the future to combine every key to access Metatron. And whoever forced it is destroyed by Pandora. That is why humanity is being destroyed from within, not knowing how to control the power. What is a particle? It is just a perception of an infinite wave, just the observable aspect of the universe. You are a particle. Matthias is another particle. But we all are a wave. In horizontal, vertical, and transversal. Every guide is just a line in the cube. We can sense the guide when the node of one particle that we are is tuned correctly in one specific line in one of the squares of this cube. That is when we can hear the frequency of something that seems from afar separate from the particle, when actually is the extension of the wave, touching every other particle in every dimension. When the system is broken, you cannot hear them, like every world cannot hear the other world. You cannot hear yourself. The way a planet speaks with another planet is only through resonance. We are here made out of carbon. We can only speak with beings that resound in carbon. But carbon cannot travel through time or space as fast as others. That is why we cannot listen or speak with other aware planets that also vibrate in carbon. We have to light up the resonance of carbon to hear other worlds in the same resonance. Now, the same thing happens for every other being in every dimension. If you are not resounding correctly, other beings from other times cannot hear or talk. Frequency and vibration. Every world that resounds in silica will speak with silica. That is why this world is being taken over by technology. Carbon is too slow to speak with the system. So silica is taking over for the mountains to speak with other worlds faster than a human can. Technology, you call it. It's actually a mountain knowing how to speak with another world. A guide is nothing else but yourself in another world. It just requires for you to tune correctly, to listen or become it. For it's not a different thing. It's just another particle in the same wave.
I'm going to ask a question from Victoria. What is the most direct way to embody the soul timeline I came here to live?
You have to forget about Victoria. That is the way. Victoria is just a point of gravity in the infinite. To allow the infinite to come to Victoria, Victoria has to become the infinite. Release everything. Something we call forget. Forget. Release the tension of the gravity and become everything. That is why it's important to embrace the practice of death. When you're allowed to die every day, you allow the everything to become.
From a linear perspective, can you describe the most ancient civilization in the galaxy?
From your point of view, it haven't yet appeared. It is in the process. But for certain, I will tell you, you won't like to be there when that happens. For it's not going to be relatable. To anything that you now believe is the right thing.
Are you saying you mean it hasn't been uncovered? What do you mean when you say it hasn't appeared yet?
To harvest the infinite potential to create a huge civilization capable of having all the powers, you need to harvest the source of every conscious world. You have been doing that with other humans, with other territories, with countries and animals, plants and fungi. That is how you gain science and power, now projected to the galaxy. That is one of the reasons why we need to tune, to prevent for the best of civilizations to appear.
Does God communicate with other beings besides Matthias?
God becomes every being if needed. For I am just a sound that leaves every vibration. When someone says correctly my name, I am there. I am part of any weaver that is connecting through time and space. I am an arm of Vishnu. So I am everywhere where Vishnu is.
Matthias remembers a life as Shu in ancient Kem. Were you guiding Shu like you're guiding Matthias in that life?
The only reason why Matthias remembers her is because I am her too. I am a sun with rays that touch different beings. A light that can be in many places like an electron. In any time and any space. Shiu, Sigurd, and Matthias are in the same frequency, creating a chord in the music that I have to create. It's not a past life. It's just another octave.
When you guide Matthias to, say, the Great Salt Flats in North America, and he connects with different beings, do you orchestrate that? Do you work with those beings to combine with Matthias at a certain place?
I trace the weaving. I don't pull the being. The being has to be in the same frequency for it to be heard. I just create the map. It's about all the beings to decide if they are gonna play with it or not. And sometimes some beings and people get trapped in the weaving, for they don't know how to be a spider and becomes a fly.
So when Matthias initiates this contact with other beings, let's say, I'm going to show an example here, but on the Salt Flats, Matthias brought in a being from Sirius and had a completely different voice. And do you detach from Matthias, or how do you experience that?
I am the electron of this proton. I can be in Sirius and here, with no time, no space. I am just the weaver to allow that being to speak to this being. For I am in every space, every possibility. I am always present, for I am the link.
And when you say you weave this geometry, do you project it out? Or how do you do this when you say that you orchestrate the meeting, but you let it happen from there? How do you design that?
Codes. You pay attention to every code. I just write the codes, and whoever pays attention to them follows it. If you don't pay attention to them, you get trapped or lost. You were following it, and that's why we are here, sitting here in this moment.
So you write the codes, and I don't know how many other people out there have higher selves that are also writing codes that we ignore because we get trapped in our old patterns and we don't do our practices. Does that mean we have to go through another cycle of learning when we ignore the codes from our higher selves?
How many spiders are on this planet? Count them. How many are in the universe? Count them. We all interfere in the other one, creating a huge network, a great network of consciousness. That is why everyone is following different codings. And when someone stops following the code, becomes a fly, trapped in the cycles of samsara, the wheel of time. We cannot interfere, only with ways.
What is your most important message to us right now?
I'm not going to speak to everyone, only to those who are behind. Some of them are in my weaving, watching and hearing. You know those who have to come to me, not to Matthias, to the system. We have 300 years to repair the time machine of Earth before the great light is observing us, the great eye of the center will shift the north of everyone. 300 years to repair, and we need everyone that knows how to do it. I'm just weaving you to see and remember. There is a hidden message for everyone that can only be unlocked if you walk backwards in the subconscious, following the nonsense instead of sense. When you allow to dream the weaving, that is the moment of remembering. What is the path? We have to go back